Stephen Hurahan here at BrandMasterAcademy.com, and in this video you're going to learn how to sell brand strategy to your prospects in a way that will make them feel grateful that they met you. Now, when I first started to provide brand strategy services to my clients, one of the first questions that I asked myself was, how am I going to sell this to my clients? I was already struggling with some clients squeezing me on price for logo designs, brochure designs, and telling me they could go and get it done cheaper online. So I now had the trouble of providing them with a service that was a lot more expensive than what I was providing before. So I had to learn quickly how to sell that to my clients. How was I going to do this? How was I going to get them to pay up to 5 times more for this new service that I was providing when I was struggling to get them to pay for the services that I was previously providing? So a lot of questions came up during this initial phase when I started to sell brand strategy, and some of those questions included: how do I know if my client is interested in brand strategy? How do I know if they have a budget for it? How do I introduce brand strategy into the conversation? How do I show the value of brand strategy? How do I convince them that I'm a branding specialist? Why would they listen to my advice in the first place? How do I convince them without being salesy? And how do I convert them into a high-paying client? So I needed a way to answer these questions, and I didn't have anyone to call on to ask. So what I did was I put myself outside my comfort zone and I just tried. I tried different tactics, different techniques with my clients, and the more I did, the more I learned. And with that knowledge, I began to build my own process and my own framework, and that's what I want to teach you in this video. Step number 1, position yourself as a specialist. Now, your client is not an expert. Your prospect is not an expert, and it's not their fault either. They haven't been raised on what branding is. They haven't been classically trained on what branding is, and it's your job to fill in the missing pieces. If they come to you looking for logo designs and brochure designs, it's up to you to tell them that they need more than that. It's up to you to educate them on what it is they need. Now, if you continue to answer the call to how much is a logo or how much is a website, and you continue to take jobs like that, well, then you're not positioning yourself as a branding specialist. You're not positioning yourself as an expert within branding. You're positioning yourself as a generalist designer. Now, in order to break the mold there, you need to change your messaging. Change the messaging on your website, change the messaging in the conversations that you have with your clients, and over time, start turning down some of those how much for a logo jobs, how much for a website job. Start turning them down. It's not easy in the beginning, but the more you do, the more you turn down those jobs, the more time you'll have on your hands to reposition yourself as a specialist. Step number 2, ask business-related questions. Now, it's not uncommon for entrepreneurs and business owners when they start to talk branding to jump straight into visuals. They'll tell you the style of the logo that they like, the color that they want to use, types of brands that they like and want to replicate or want to copy. But the more you talk about the visuals of the brand, the less you're going to talk about strategy. So you need to take control of that conversation, and you need to ask business-related questions and keep the conversation higher end. The more you're talking about business related questions, the more it's in their mind that you're here to help their business, not just to provide them with visuals. So keep the conversations high level about their business, and examples of questions that you could ask here include: so tell me a little bit about your business. What's your experience within the industry? Do you deal directly with customers? And do you have any partners? Step number 3, evoke aspirations and ambitions. Now, the business-related questions will put you on the right path to discuss strategy with them, but you're not ready yet. You want to continue to build that rapport, and a great way to do that is to get them talking about the future and the possible success of their brand, their aspirations and ambitions, because this opens them up. This really makes them consider the emotional investment that they have in the success of their brand, and it will make them think about the future. It'll make them think about what life looks like from a professional point of view, from a personal point of view. So ask those emotion-evoking questions and those ambition-evoking questions, and get them really thinking about the future of the brand, and that will help you to build that rapport. If you're able to show some encouragement in this phase as well and show some understanding, that will really help to build that rapport and help them to see that you're really interested in the success of the brand. You're really interested in what they feel about the success of the brand. And as I said, that will help to build that relationship. Step number 4, mirror and rephrase. Now, we're doubling down on the empathy here, and what we're trying to do in this phase is we're trying to repeat exactly what they've said to us, using some of the exact words that they've used, but also rephrasing other parts of what they've said. Because if they hear what they've said to you back to them and they hear it from a different perspective as well, it will confirm to them that you were listening and that you understand exactly what they're thinking. And that again doubles down on that empathy. It builds that rapport, and they're going to warm to you and they're going to warm to the advice that you're about to offer them. Step number 5, ask the epiphany question. Now, if you tell somebody what they need, then you're likely to get a bit of a pushback. But if you encourage somebody or ask somebody specific questions that will let them have their own epiphany as to what they need, well, then you don't need to sell them anything. If they've had their own epiphany, then in their own mind, they've made their own decision as to what they need. So you want to ask a very specific question that's going to help them to have their own epiphany about what they need. And one of the best questions, one of the most effective questions I've found for helping your audience, helping your prospect have that epiphany is, do you know exactly who your target market is and the position that you want to take in the market? If you ask that question, they're not likely going to have a very clear answer for you, but they will be very much open to what you have to say about it. Step number 6, show them the brand strategy pathway. Now, if you try to speak with your prospect early on in the conversation and they called you looking for a logo and you dived right into what brand strategy is, then you would probably get some pushback. They wouldn't likely be open to the conversation. They'd probably tell you that they don't need what you're selling, and if you can't do what they're looking for, they'll go and get it done elsewhere. But you've done a lot of groundwork to this point and the conversation is completely different now. You've built that rapport, you've asked those business questions, you've shown them that you're more than just a designer. You have a high level of expertise, you have a high level of understanding, you've shown that empathy, you've shown that encouragement, and you've built that rapport. So now they're open to hearing what you've had to say. You've earned that trust, you've earned the right to have that conversation. So from here, it's all about education. It's all about educating them on exactly what brand strategy is. And if you do this well enough, then they're going to understand the value of brand strategy and they're going to have another epiphany. And that epiphany this time is going to be, what I thought I needed for my brand is not enough. I need something more. I need brand strategy and I need the services of this specialist. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are selling strategy to clients and you're struggling, then use this framework and don't just use it once, do it again and again and again, because you will get better. It will become more natural, and trust me, this works, guys. It just works. If you do this with your prospects and you build that rapport and you teach them about what brand strategy is, well, then they're going to be a lot more open to your message and you're not going to have to sell them anything. They're going to have their own epiphany. If you want to learn more about how to build brand strategy for your clients, well then head on over to BrandBuildr.ai and then click start here at the top of the page. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. It'll let you know when I've got new videos coming out. Until next time, happy branding, and I will see you in the next video.